Welcome into the Main Event Broadcasting Network for a special edition as we sit down today with head men's lacrosse coach Tim Dunton.
Coach Dunton, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Much appreciated that you're joining us on the Main Event Broadcasting Network. We want to sit down and talk to you a little bit and get the fans out there to know you. You're the new man in charge for the men's lacrosse program here at Piedmont College. Coming off a 13-year career at LaSalle College, up in the Northeast, where it's obviously a vastly different take on lacrosse.
It is.
Relatively new game down here in the South, but in the Northeast, so common. Talk a little bit about your time at LaSalle and how much you appreciated that. It's kind of prepared you here.
Yeah, my time at LaSalle was great. Spent, like you said, 13 years there. I became a head coach there at a young age of 23 years old.
Wow.
And was in the right place at the right time, and they took a chance on a young coach, and I'm really appreciative of them for that. My 13 years that prepared me for Piedmont was, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of recruiting and hitting the trails and trying to get the players to come into our program and buy into our system and believe in what we were doing. And I think that by the time that I had left, we were in a relatively good place. Right. I think that we were a successful program up there, starting to make a name for ourselves in the Northeast and within the GNAC conference. Was very successful within the GNAC and never really got over the hump, and something that we're trying to change, here within the Piedmont program. So.
Right, absolutely. And you talk a little bit about your time in the GNAC up there at LaSalle. Of course, several conference tournaments, a couple championships along the way, a lot of success both individually and as a team. But specifically in an area that is so lacrosse heavy, as obviously done, you talk about recruiting, the connections that you have up there and kind of the base that you establish in the Northeast. How do you now do that here in the South, where obviously the roots are different? Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be a lot of calling around, and the nice part about lacrosse is it is a little bit of a fraternity no matter where you go. So somebody always knows somebody else that can put you in contact with the right people. So we've already made contacts with the right types of club programs down here in the South. And now it's just building those relationships, cultivating those relationships by getting some of their players here, showing them that what we're doing is the right thing and the right way to do things. And hopefully that translates into pipelines coming from some of these, good Georgia programs, that we're still getting used to from my standpoint. I know, Sumner has already had that background here and understands the Georgia landscape, which has been really huge for me, having him on staff and understanding that Georgia, what teams to recruit to, what coaches to contact. So it's been fun.
Yeah, and especially too the area, of course, being different. Sumner's been a big help down here, of course, because he knows the lay of the land, and he's a graduate assistant coach for you as well. But up there, where you're coming from, LaSalle, where it's an established program, down here at Piedmont's a relatively new program. 4 years in, going into its 5th year here under you, and your first year here as the head coach. What kind of challenges do you expect to see, and how do you expect to overcome them?
Yeah, I see a lot of growing pains. Yeah. We're coming into a roster that's a little bit lower in numbers than what we're used to when we were in Boston. Right. So it's something that isn't much different than when I took over at LaSalle. I was going into the 5th year program there. It was a 20-man roster. It was a relative unknown. So we're gonna hit the ground running. We're gonna just do the hard work that needs to be done, and really it comes down to recruiting. In the Division III landscape, if you can get out there and recruit, make the contacts that you need, you can change your fortunes in one recruiting class. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna try to do. This class in the 2016 class is gonna be a big class for us. Try to get enough kids into our program so that there is competition within our program. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we'll start to supplement that. The 2017, the 2018 class will be slightly smaller, but hopefully still filled with talent. Yeah, But we need to start to focus on the Georgia, the Florida, the North Carolinas, the South Carolinas of the world, and try to get kids to buy into what we're doing. We've had some success so far trying to get kids on campus, and have had a lot of visits in the month that we've been here, and been here together. So we're excited. We're looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to it as well. You bring a lot of success with you down here to Piedmont, 44 all-conference players, so a lot of individual success during your time at LaSalle, and then also 107 career wins, relatively fresh off that 100th career win, so a nice moment for you. Yeah. We hope you get to 200 here. That's the plan.
As do I.
That's obviously the plan, of course.
Hopefully sooner than later.
Hopefully sooner than later, absolutely. But with all that success, to what do you attribute that type of success, and how do you expect to have the same amount here at Piedmont?
As far as the individual players?
Either one, individual and team.
Yeah, I mean, I think from the individual players, it's a matter of going out there and focusing on the right type of kid to come in here and fit our system. So, if we can find those types of kids, I think that with the system that we're going to run, there's going to be plenty of opportunity for kids to have all conference awards and hopefully all region and hopefully all New England. I mean, all New England. I'm still used to the New England. Sorry. And hopefully all Americans. What we're trying to do is try to establish Piedmont as a Southern power and be recognized within the NCAA. Yeah. On the national scene within the NCAA tournament, that's our goal within the next 4 to 5 years is to be playing in that tournament. So with that comes the exposure. The guys get the exposure to those other programs, the Lynchburgs and the Roanoaks of the South, and hopefully those guys are seeing our players as that caliber. I have been involved in the national scene as far as voting process for All-American Committee and Top 20 panels. That's something I would like to continue here as well. So that'll help us as well, as we continue to grow. Individually, I mean, from a win standpoint, it really just comes down to, the players that you have on our staff, on our team. We can only do so much. It's not really necessarily about the X's and O's all the time. It's about the guys you have playing for you. So, my wins professionally in my career are all attributed to the guys that played for me. So
we're looking forward to seeing a lot of guys coming into this program here.
Me too.
Help you get to win 200. We're excited about it, Coach. It's a pleasure to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us here on the Main Event Broadcasting Network as we sat down with new head men's lacrosse coach Tim Dunton. Make sure you tune in next time for another edition here on the Main Event Broadcasting Network.